G'day, thanks for joining us. Today we're going to show you the way that snakes feed when they have their meals. Time to feed some rodents out. Check out this ripper. King brown snake or mulga. It's not every day you're up to your elbows in venomous snakes before your coffee. Well actually, for me it is pretty much every day. But don't worry, the kettle's on. Bon appetit! Time to feed Maxie the mulga snake, a wiener rat. Let's check out how these snakes swallow their food. It's quite amazing. So you can see he's using his fangs there to locate the head. He's injecting some venom to help the digestion process. So it makes sense for the snake to swallow his prey items from the head first. The fur has a grain running towards the back. The legs also fold back. If he's got feathers, the feathers will fold back, or the wings will fold back as well. So he's walking his jaws over the prey item using those fangs. He's actually walking his fangs over it. Basically is injecting that venom, which starts the digestion process. So all of our venomous snakes, spiders, centipedes and scorpions will use that venom to begin the digestion process. Also his stomach acids will. So I'll just slide that closed there. He's probably going to take that into his hidey box. He's going to locate the head. So he's working back down the vertebrae, locating the head, and then he'll swallow it whole from there. So instinctively the snake locates the head, and that obviously is an advantage for him to swallow it from the head, because the fur, the arms and the legs, or if it's got wings or feathers, all have a direction of travel, and they will fold those limbs down and it will actually go down his throat much easier. So he's working his fangs over the victim, and they can actually swallow prey items up to 4 or 5 times the size of his head. Venomous snakes, because the venom is injected and it's digesting as well, and the stomach acids are digesting, this guy will eat that rat and then he will actually defecate probably about 3 days later, whereas if it was a python, it would probably be more like a week or so later, because they're only digesting using their stomach acids, so it takes longer for the pythons to digest that. It'll digest everything basically except for the fur and the teeth and perhaps the claws, and then a small puff of fluff will come out the other end. So these snakes are specialist reptile eaters, and the king brown or the mulga. A mulga is probably a better name for him because he's not actually a brown snake. He's more closely related to a red-bellied black snake than he is actually to a brown snake. So if you were actually bitten by this snake, you'd be getting anti-venom for black snake, not a brown snake. So the snake's jaws have elastic tendons on either side, and also at the front of the bottom jaw in the middle of the chin also divides, enabling him to swallow prey items up to 4 times the size of his head. You can see also the skin stretches, the scales stretch, and then once it's past his mouth, he'll start using his neck muscles and the muscles in his body to basically finish the swallowing process, pushing it down into his stomach. So the rat will be digested from the inside out and also the outside in. So the venom is going to break down and start dissolving the inside of the rat, and his stomach acids will also digest from the outside. Pythons, on the other hand, don't have venom, and boas, so they rely just on their stomach acids. So generally, venomous snakes will digest their food a bit faster than our pythons and our boas. Most snakes can survive quite easily on 1 rat a week. Some will only eat 1 rat a fortnight. And in the wild they can go without food for months at a time. So you can see him pushing that down his body now, using his muscles. So in about 3 to 4 days time, depending on the temperature, and basically just a little tuft of hair will be all that remains of that rat. You can see he's using his muscles and his tendons now to push that rat further down his body. There you go. That's how king brown mulga snakes swallow their food. So these bins are really good to use because they snap down and you can put the chain across the top and clip it on. Clip it nice and secure. There we go, see you later. Sometimes it's best to just hook these snakes right in the middle and then you don't have to touch them at all. Just let him make his own way back into his enclosure. Just like that. That way you don't even have to touch him. Always keep an eye on them as well because they'll go in that box and they'll spin around real quick and then the head will come out, and every now and then if you've got a cranky one, it might come out and try and get you when you're closing that glass. Go on in your box. Isn't that cool the way they just glide in there? That's like his little cave, his little home. Feels nice and comfortable and safe in there, away from prying eyes. Generally quite secretive snakes. Go on, there we go. He's got that tongue going as well. He's come straight back out. He's looking for food. Some of them are little piggies. They'll eat every second or third day if you feed them. These mulga snakes. Obviously it's never a good idea to feed anything frozen or very cold to the reptiles because they're having enough trouble digesting it as it is as well. That's why they need to, we need to keep the heat on them, particularly after we've fed them. Just going to set the camera up there and then we're going to give him a nice fat rat for lunch. He's quite a good feeder. You can see he's not a bad size for a mulga snake. He's just busting on about 6 foot. And he's beautiful creamy colour. So we'll pop him into his box there. There he goes. There we go. So he's got that rat there and he's injecting venom into it as we speak. Even though the rat's already dead, but that venom is helping the digestion of that rodent. When he finally swallows it down, the rodent will be digesting from the inside out, as well with his stomach acids from the outside of the rodent in, so it'll digest quite quickly compared to, say, just a python that doesn't use any venom at all to digest his prey. So he'll locate the head now, and then he'll swallow it down whole, which helps him. All the legs will fold back and the grain of the fur sort of goes from the head to the tail, so that makes it much easier for him to swallow. So instinctively he'll chew his way over and find the head. A lot of the black snakes in particular grab their prey and they really hang on to it, whereas brown snakes will sort of strike and let go. These guys like to hang on. And of course they are reptile hunters as well, so a lot of our snakes that do eat other reptiles generally will grab on and hang on to that reptile so it can't escape. Straightening his body out there, getting into position. Getting his body into a nice straight line. Once he walks his jaws over the head and the shoulders of the rat, then he'll use those neck muscles and tendons to swallow it down. get that smell of the rats or the rodents, you have to be extra careful, because generally even a placid snake, once he goes into food mode, gets that tongue flickering around and he can taste the rodent in the air, he becomes a different snake. So he comes into hunting mode. You'll see that tongue going. Oh, there's his head. There you go. Right there. So he's just punched into that rodent. He's injecting venom as we speak. Even though the rodent is already dead, he's still going to inject venom. Oh, that's cool. I love the way they just glide into that box. Time to feed the crazy MULGA snake. They smell that food, they hang on. Danger. Oh, slow-mo. The slow-mo MULGA. And there he goes. So you can see he was walking his fangs over that prey item and pulling it down his neck. Generally it takes him about 5 minutes to swallow that medium rat. And we'll leave the heat on in there for him so his digestive juices are working and digesting that for him. Basically, because he's ectothermic and he gets his heat from, doesn't have to heat his blood, he only really needs to eat one of those a week to be in good condition. Maxie the MULGA. What a beast. Pumping that venom in. Bazinga! So we'll grab the camera out. Now that is one happy MULGA snake. Good boy, he's not being camera shy today. Nice one, mate. Enjoy. Thanks for watching Awesome Animals TV. Please subscribe and I'll keep the wildlife adventures coming to you. Whoa!